we clicked ever since. So I think it took us like 4 months, and we're just like, let's move in together. And we're like, okay. Yeah.
Look
So
at
it
that.
was one of those. Yeah, leap of faith.
Welcome to another dose of Empire, where we share stories to elevate and inspire. My name is Mimi, and I'll be your host for today. I am honored to introduce our next guest. She's a motivator, a hair guru, and host of Curl Talk. Please help me welcome Stephanie Burrell. When was the last time you were in Haiti, by the
Okay, so the last time I was there, it was very brief, was this past December, for family reasons. But I was born there. But I lived in Miami my entire life. So I have done like my elementary, high school, and college years in Miami, Florida. And then
Nice.
when I graduated in December 2014, I was kind of like in limbo with everything. I didn't know what jobs to apply for here, and nothing really interested me. And I've always lived at home. So I had brought up the idea to my parents that, I would love to live in Haiti, because even though I was born there, I wasn't able to grow up there. And for a while, for a couple of months, we had flown back and forth. I met some people, and then I believe it was that summer the following year that I flew in for a job interview, and the person told me I'm starting like tomorrow. So yeah, and my flight was the next day anyway. So I had no clothes, absolutely nothing. So I had to stay there for 2 weeks, and then they allowed me to fly back to grab all my stuff, and then I moved all my stuff, and yeah, I stayed there for about almost 4 years.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Stephanie, I had no idea about that part. That is, awe. Okay, let's just back up. How did you just pack up and left everyone behind in Miami and just said, okay, I know this is a childhood location, but how did you do it where you left everybody behind? It was a new setting, I'm sure, for you. And to work there, walk us through that process of leaving everything behind. Or was it just familiar to you that just starting to work and you were just so focused with work?
It actually wasn't familiar to me, because I was still lacking like Creole, like the not speaking the language. My French was non-existent.
Oh no!
It was not there. I struggled, and I still struggle, but I'm a lot better than when I first started.
Awesome.
But I think what drove me to really move over there was just seeking independence, more independence. Again, I lived with my family my entire life. So I saw this as like an opportunity to venture out on my own, and I don't have to rely on like my parents for anything, and I would really have to experience things by myself.
I love that. I think sometimes we have to take this leap of faith. What would you say to anyone going into a new setting, even to languages? Even for me, if I were to go to Haiti right now, I know Creole would be a challenge. Quick story. I was in Belgium about 3 years ago. I do speak French, used to speak French, but I've been in the United States for over 10 years. So I really have not been practicing. And I remember my cousin talking to me. And I'm like, yes. But I couldn't say anything in French. And he was like, are you okay? Was that okay? I'm like, yes. And thankfully, I was there for 2 weeks. And I think at the end of maybe the last 4 days, and the French slowly started to come back. But the first 3 days, I'm like, I don't want anything. I'm good. I couldn't say a word in French, but I can hear it. Just the words were not coming out. So what would you say to anyone diving into a new setting, either for work or even personal reasons?
I would say do your research. Definitely do your research. Really see what the native language is over there. The area that you're going to be in, because even if you're in a city, it might be like a suburb, or is it, so just really researching the location, and make friends, talk to everyone, and you never know who you're gonna mesh with, and you're bound to find someone who speaks English. So that I think just being really open and putting yourself out there.
I couldn't agree more. I cannot imagine how you did it for 4 years. Now, obviously, what did you find easier from, meaning something that was hard the year 1, but year 4 just became a breeze, where you're like, I don't know why this was difficult before, but what became easier for you at the end of year 4?
What became easier? I do have to say my roommate at the time, and also my best friend, she really helped me a lot with the just learning about Haiti and the language. Anytime I had a question, I would just forward everything to her, and she would really help me out. Yeah, she was a really big staple in my time there. And she's born and raised in Haiti, so I learned a lot through her.
Now, you mentioned your best friend. How would you describe your childhood? Was that a childhood best friend, or someone you met as you were growing up? How would you describe
someone
your
I met
childhood
in
in the
Haiti.
midst of it?
I met her in Haiti.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was actually funny because one of the times that I had just flown in there, I hadn't moved there. She said she had seen me, but she wasn't really sure who I was. But then, while I think it was the first month that I moved there, that's when we got to interact, and we clicked ever since. So I think it took us 4 months, and we're just let's move in together. And we're like, okay. Yeah.
Look at that.
One of those. Leap of faith.
Yes. Oh my God. Look, if you didn't even take the job, probably you would not even been such a great friend with her, or even met her. Oh my.
You have to just accept it. That's your hair, and people can take it or leave it because it's on your head.
That's right. Take it or leave it.